Hello everyone. Today we are going to solve this interesting SQL question which is consecutive days. In this problem we need to find all the users who were active for 3 consecutive days or more. Let's see the table. We only have one table in this problem. So the table name is SF underscore events, and we have record date, account ID and user ID. Basically, we need to find all users who are active for 3 consecutive days or more. So for each user ID, we have record date, and we need to find all the user IDs who have consecutive days, 3 consecutive days, basically who are active for 3 consecutive days. For each user ID we need those user IDs. So I hope you have understood what we need to do in this problem. Let's see the expected output as well. We just need the user ID. I will be walking you through the two approaches to solve this problem. The first approach is very intuitive, so I will explain you what we are going to do in the first approach. In the first approach, basically we need to create two more columns. The first column will be second record date and third column will be third record date. Now we already have one record date. Now we will create two more record dates for second consecutive date and third consecutive date. And after creating those two columns, we will check if a user ID has consecutive record dates. We will take the record date and add 1 to it so that we can get the next record date, and we will add 2 to it so that we can get third record date, and see if we have that value in the columns that we create. And if we find a user ID, we can use distinct keyword to take the unique user IDs. So I hope you have understood what I am trying to explain here. So let's start with the first approach. First, I will create a CTE to store the second and third columns. So we will select everything, and we will add a new column using lead record date. If we do not mention anything, or you can just mention one, it will be same. So I will just keep it as it is. The default lead function, the default value for lead function is 1, so it will increase the record date by 1. Record date over partition by user ID order by record date as second date. Similarly, we will get third date. This is second date. To get the second consecutive date, and this will be for third consecutive date. I will write this as third date, and here we need to mention 2 so that it increases the record date by 2 days. So now we got the second date and third date. First, let's see this CT. Let's see the output of this CT so that we can understand how the two columns are created. So I will select star from CT to check how we can get the output. Here we need to use the table name. Let's run this code. So here you can see that for each user id, it will sort the record date, and it will store the second date and third date. So let's take user id 1. You can see that this is sorted in ascending order, and you can see the second date for this user id is this one, which we can see here, and third date will be this one, which we can see here. So now we have got the 3 consecutive days, and what we are left to do is basically we need to compare the second date and third date if it is equal to the consecutive day. So for second day, if we add 1 to this record date, whether it is equal to second date or not. If it is equal, then these two dates are consecutive, and we also need to check for third date. So if we can find a user id which has 3 consecutive days, then we can say that the user id should be in the output as per the question. So we will just take the user ids from this city. So I will write select distinct user id from cte, and we will mention the conditions. The first condition is where second date is equal to record date plus 1, and third date is equal to record date plus 2. So you can see that we are getting the right output, and you can see that this solution is accepted. So this is the first approach that I want to explain you. Now in the second approach, we will be using two CTEs. In the first CTE, we will take the distinct user IDs and record dates so that we can remove all the duplicates. And in the second CTE, we will be making use of row number in order to find all the dates which are consecutive. And after creating the second CTE, we will be grouping by user ID and taking the user IDs which has dates count greater than or equal to 3. Let me explain you while writing the code so that you can understand how we are going through the second, how we can do the second approach. So the first city is to get the distinct dates. So I will write this city as distinct dates as, so we need to select distinct user ID and record date from SF events. Now we have got the distinct dates. In the next city, we will be using a row number in order to get the consecutive days for each user ID. So I will write the next city as consecutive days as, for this we will be using distinct dates city. We will select, I need to select user ID, and here we need to take the record date and subtract it from row number over partition by user ID, order by record date, ordered by record date, and make sure that this is integer. As let's write this as record date from distinct dates. So we now have consecutive days. If we have consecutive days, then it will be the same date. So that is why we are using record date minus row number. Let me explain you that with the example from this sample table. So here, let's take U4. Let's take the user ID which has consecutive days. So here we have U4 with 3 consecutive days. So this should be in our output. So what happens when we use record date minus row number? So the record date minus row number will take this record date minus, let's say this is the first date for this user ID, the row number will be 1. So 10 minus 1 will be 9. So 11 minus 2, because for second date row number will be 2, 11 minus 2 will be 9. Similarly for 12, 12 minus 3 will be 9. So you can see that if we have consecutive days, we will get the same date for the user ID. So using that property, we can select all the user IDs which has the same date. Basically we can group by the user ID and record date and find if we have count star greater than or equal to 3. If it is the case, then we can consider that user ID as active for 3 consecutive days. So let's select distinct user ID from consecutive days. We need to group by user ID as well as record date. So this should give us the expected result, and at the end we need to filter out having count star greater than or equal to 3. So this should give us the user IDs which are active for 3 consecutive days. Let's run this and see. You can see that we got U4, which is the expected output. So I hope you have understood how to approach this problem in 2 different ways. So that is all in this video. I hope you have found this video useful. Thank you for watching, and I will see you in the next one.